helping Kanisha find out what her purpose is. And then she was eventually able to walk in it. So be patient with me, and I'll show you how Kanisha was able to find her life's purpose. And I want to also explain to you what I learned personally from Kanisha's story about life. You know, one of the things that I'm an author, and I wrote my first book during the 2020 pandemic. And one of the things one of the statements that I have in there is a quote from Booker T. Washington, who said, "Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, as by the obstacles which he or she has overcome while trying to succeed." And you know, it speaks loudly how a whole country could get behind you if they know that you are trying. And Kanisha's story began when that's Kanisha there, our friend Eric Mason and Alexa Brown, they all grew up in similar circumstances. Alexa was in high school and he did not have a home. So someone was kind enough to give Alexa the opportunity to sleep on their couches at night, and then they would drop him off to school during the day. So for the 4 years or so that he was in high school, no one knew, but he did not have a home. And this young lady, Alexa Brown, she also had circumstances that she had no control over. She was also grew up in a single mom's home. And when these three got the help that they needed from adults who noticed them and were able to give them the help, they banded together, they connected together, and they began to study hard. They did all the right things, and eventually they applied for college. Now in America, you have to, in order for you to apply to college, you have to take certain tests, like the ACTs and so on. And you have to have high scores. And these three got high scores so that they went to what you call an Ivy League school. They all were accepted into Ivy League schools. And I think Kanisha went to Howard University, Eric went to Stanford University, and Alexa got accepted into Harvard University. And these are all Ivy League schools. You know, these are kids that grew up with nothing, and now, because of the support of others, they're able to get accepted to these schools. So what happened then was that the photograph that you saw before was viewed on the internet, on social media, 83,000 times. You see, that picture represented the hope of millions of people. The hope and promise that many individuals had for their children, for their, maybe their nieces, nephews, and so on, everybody. And, beneath the smiles are the stories of what it takes to make it in this world. Not only is it that you have to study hard, you have to sacrifice, you have to have determination, and you have to have what is called resilience. Resilience is, even though circumstances are not easy, or life is not simple, you have to find a way to survive. You have to find a way to think outside the box. You have to find a way to not just listen to your inner voice that says negative things to you, but to look outside of yourself and look at others who are making it and decide to be positive. So Kanisha and Alexa came from single family homes, like I said, and Eric was homeless for most of the high school years. But look what happened to him. So for the rest of the story, I'll focus on Kanisha. You know, there is a famous, successful leader in America. His name is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. How many of you have ever heard of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Okay. Can you tell us a little about him? Who was he? Can you say your name and tell us?
My name is Isabel.
Okay.
Actually, it was my brother that told me about it in the document.
Okay.
They said there was one day that he went to a library, and that time the actual Bible that they were using back then, they had changed it. So that time that he went, the Bible was actually, it was very, very torn. So he was the one that refound the actual Bible because they were taking the real Bible with something else. They were trying to turn the Bible into something else. So the actual Bible, he was the one that came to find it and find it.
Okay. The Martin Luther King Jr. that I'm speaking about, thanks for sharing, is a different, you were probably talking about the Martin Luther, the one who changed, who was a Protestant, and he changed the, I think in a culture where most people were predominantly Catholic, and I think that's a different person. But this person is well known in America, and every year we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Birth, and he was assassinated because he had the opportunity to speak into the hearts of the American government and people then, because Black Americans were not being treated the way that they should. And so Martin Luther King died because someone was angry with him because he was speaking the truth about Black people needed to have equal access to everything that that white people in America had. And so he was assassinated, and so every year we celebrate Martin Luther King's birth and everything. And he had a special speech called the I Had a Dream. And when you have a chance, you should research it and find out and read it. It's a beautiful speech that has impacted the lives of everyone who reads it. And it's called I Have a Dream. And so